Okay, so don't know if you guys know this yet, but Storyscape is now available. I guess worldwide. I'm just guessing it's worldwide. At least it's available in America, and I have to say that with that, it pretty much ends. Well, my reasoning for even starting to read this in the first place is that it wasn't available for Americans, and so I felt a personal obligation to uh, read these stories out. And well, I wasn't sure how long I'd be reading them, but now that they're out, you can actually go and play this for yourself now if you haven't been, uh, well, if you haven't been spoiled by my great voice already. So definitely go there and download this app. There's a bunch of great stories. Let me tell you something. Titanic is a beautiful story. When I first saw the trailer, I knew that would be great, and so I played it, and got to play it a few times. Life 2.0 is pretty strange and funny. There's a season 2 on the way. Eternal City was interesting. It got recently remade. Definitely pick that up. I'm interested in the vampire one, Ageless, and also Edge of Extinction coming just in time for my birthday. So that's going to be very interesting. But for now, we're continuing X-Files. Let me know what you guys think. I've seen the views on this thing dying down, and so I don't think that's going to get any better now that the app is available worldwide and anyone can just play it, right? And that's fine with me. You guys just go and play this game because it's a good game and it's a lot of fun. And not sure, but episode 8 seems like a good place to end. Ashtags part 3, and then after that, new stories after this. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But other than that, this could be the very last one I read for a while. So, without any ado, Ashtags Part 3, having uncovered an occult link to the campus murders, Dexler and Fulton sequester a group of potential targets in protective custody. Can they protect them from harm and from one another? We'll see. It's been several hours, but I'm still shaking. I can't stop seeing the dead body of Danny Bright, the coding prodigy and Wright employee who slit his own wrist in a locked server room. It appears Bright was the one behind Ashtag, a program designed to announce imminent deaths on the company's dating app, Raider. We still don't know how Bright's program knows who will die. Fulton believes the code is actually orchestrating the deaths. Now, I'm in an Wright conference room trying to explain it all to A.D. Skinner. We searched Bright's apartment, lots of notes and books all over, a mess of coding manuals, religious texts, and obscure occult stuff. We're sure his death was a suicide? There was a box cutter in one of his hands, and no one's been logged entering or exiting the room since he went inside a couple of weeks ago. I saw pictures of his code. I'm no programmer, but it looks like nonsense. Then there's the blood. What do you make of this scene, Dexler? Bright's etchings are meant to be a magic sigil, the sort of thing that's charged by deep focus or a mortal offering, like suicide. And the code. I recognize at least 3 ancient languages, plus Russian, Latin, some encoded Chinese and Japanese characters. I get the sense that Bright used whatever language had the most direct meaning for the terms he needed, and built his own coding grammar. I think I see what you're getting at. I take it this is something beyond what anyone there can decipher? Doggett's got a local bureau tech, and a couple of Wright employees looking at it now. I hope they can make some headway. What do you think this is, Dexler? The fantasies of a genius or something else? This could be genuine magic. Or, well, he thought this was real. Or Bright was confused, maybe delusional. We're looking at a young prodigy who maybe wasn't ready for adult life when he went to Stanford. Cruelty doesn't end in high school, and it's not like his older college peers would date a kid. He was likely ostracized, possibly mocked. Judging from his obsession with the occult, he went somewhere very dark with his emotions, likely further altering his psyche. Does that jibe with Fulton's view? Hey, he's not the only one who can spot human motivations. I take it you're alone in the room? I am? Why, what's up? How are things going with the Pierce Institute? Anything to report? Honestly, it's going okay. Or Pierce came here in person. Or I have nothing. Fulton's been with Pierce, and I'm working with John Doggett. I haven't had any issues. Doggett? I'm surprised he's doing field work. Pierce. That makes sense, because of Fulton. And, well, it makes sense. Alright, that's all. I'll let you get back to it. I end the call, sit back in my chair, and think, what does Skinner expect Pierce's people to do? Or does he not know what to expect? There's a knock on the door. Fulton. I give him a thumbs up through the window, and he enters. Hey, I figured I'd check in since... Yeah, guess we haven't caught up since last night. Was that Skinner? What did he want? Nothing important, or he has me reporting on Pierce, or crack a joke. Let's tell the truth. Remember when Skinner asked to see me alone? He wants me to keep him fully informed on how Pierce and his people operate. Well, inform away if you want. Not that you're asking for my blessing. So, let's talk Danny Bright and his everything. Ashtag, the code, the sigil, the suicide, his books and notes. I can see in Fulton's eyes that he's got ideas. I wonder just how deep down the rabbit hole he went. Did he go into a weird trance like Philadelphia and come up with insights into the suspect's mind? Your profiling method, what is it you do? Like in Philly. I clear my mind, I recreate the room in my head, recall everything I know about the suspect, and I talk to them. Of course you do. The implied question within your question being, did I talk to the suspect in my head this time? Okay, let's do it. As a matter of fact, I did. Special Agent Aaron Fulton. Doggett and the techs are going over the ins and outs of the Ashtag program. Unsurprisingly, Doggett is a bit out of his element. It amuses you that he partnered with Agent Dexler for this case, the two top dogs at the Institute watching over the rookies. You wish they'd leave the server room, but you know how to block people out, don't you? There's only one person you want to talk to. You close your eyes, you breathe slowly. You think about Danny Bright's victims, his cubicle, his apartment. You open your eyes. And Danny Bright is here, but not here. In your mind, projected onto the world, the others are gone. Bright's looking at his body. It worked, didn't it? It really worked. You didn't have doubts. You were too sure of yourself for doubts. Yeah, that's a great point. You should maybe focus more. Make me real. More real. Ha, I had a lot of blood, didn't I? You're not gonna let my parents see me like this, are you? That's not what we're here to talk about, Danny. Yeah, no duh, so lay it on me. What's the topic? The targets, or the program, or his family. It's just your imagination. There's no way you can get more facts about him. So, let's think about the program, since that's what's more important right now. Ashtag is quite the invention. Our texts tell me it's its own language. They've never seen anything even close to it. That's because there isn't anything close to Ashtag. Looks like you were inspired by religion, the occult. Anything else I'm missing? Torrenting, Russian hackers, smart home, tech blogs, energy drinks, anger, resentment. All those notes in your apartment, you've been working on this for a while. Not as long as you might think. I conceptualize fast, code faster. I can focus like you wouldn't believe. I'm way better at focus than you. I'm actually surprised you can pull this off. Such a jumble in there. How hard do you have to work to keep those images of your dead family from interrupting everything? We're getting off topic. We were never on topic. I'm here because you want to know how to stop Ashtag not happening. You had him, but he's too aware of his own mind. You have to push him somewhere else to distract him. Oh, let's talk about his boss. You could have founded your own company, but you chose to work for Wright. What's that about? What's the rush? I figured I'd make some money. Maybe make some friends in the same field. Poach the good ones. But you didn't make friends here, did you? I'm sure you had co-workers you could talk to, but not anyone to hang out with after work. Same school. Everyone has their cliques and they're all older. I was an adult, but... Screw 'em. I should have put them all on the list. Sometimes you just want to see it all fall down. But you can't do that if you're dead, Daddy. That depends, doesn't it? Depends on what's on the other side. Does that mean you believe in life after death, Daddy? You're floundering. Take stabs in the dark again. You need something to get his attention. You try to see the code, his pages of notes. Try to see them clearly. Look for something to connect, a phrase, a word. Abcalum. I kept seeing that word in your notes. I've never seen it before. It sounds Latin. Bright smiles wide, like you've mentioned his favorite food. Abcalum. I'd say you have a good eye, but you have seen it before. It's the root of hashtag. It's the source behind the source. Can you remember where you've seen it? My god is Abcalum, and Abcalum is me. Abcalum has seen you, and he can't wait to see you again. With an elated grin, Bright grips a wrist and digs in with his nails. Blood gushes from the wound. He bites his other wrist. Danny Bright comes for you, arms out to his side, grinning at you, bleeding on you. He can't wait to see you again! Your eyes snap open again, for real this time. You've been lost in thought. You're standing before Dexter in a conference room. You've been talking to her. She's waiting for an answer from you about your thoughts on Bright. He's insane, or it's revenge. Both? He's become so engrossed in the occult that it's driven him crazy. He thinks he's like a dark god, or worshipping one. So he sees them as unholy sacrifices? Why them? Why not them? If these 10 are all people Bright knew he had altercations with, he wouldn't mind seeing them die. Special Agent Jess Dexler. I'm torn by Fulton's conclusion. On the one hand, it's a solid take on Danny Bright's intentions. On the other hand, I have issues with the list. But they aren't all on Raider, and they aren't all students. Ty writes on it. And do we have proof all these people crossed him somehow? Good points. The authorities are gathering up the remaining 5 to put into protective custody. We can't ask them to figure it out, but I'd be much happier if we could stop the program altogether. Can we undo magic? Or let's check his notes, or pull the plug. There's gotta be something in all the writings that tell us how to break the routine. Experts have been rushing through the pages, code snippets and cult leader rantings and bad goth poetry. They haven't made sense of it yet. If this is what looks like, the evidence points to mysticism, and we might not be able to stop it by traditional means at all. He might have been inspired by the occult, but that stuff's got to be theatrics. A big spiteful goodbye for everyone to see. In a locked room where no one would find him for weeks? It's entirely possible that Bright believed his suicide was a sacrifice, but what his program is doing can be done. For every death so far, there's been an explanation involving exploited smart systems, traffic lights, pharmacy computers, elevators. Yes, it would take an impressive algorithm to time it all, but Bright was a brilliant coder, don't forget. Possible, but hardly probable. AI just hasn't advanced that far. The program would need a guiding hand. What, like from a demon? Bright's malevolent ghost? Not every X-File is actually provably paranormal. Don't get snide. But some are, or fine you in. I really wish you wouldn't mock my perspective. We both know the paranormal is real. The paranormal is just that. It isn't normal. It always is the least likely scenario, full stop. I'm saying to you, don't put me down for suggesting when it clearly fits. We need a working theory. Emphasis on a and working. We have to eliminate the mundane and not jump right to... Okay, let me get this much from you. Even if Ashtag is powered by magic, it's most likely using smart tech. Fulton's been so dismissive of my point of view, I'd rather not give him the satisfaction. But we have to find common ground. I think that's plausible, yes. Fulton's frustration subsides. Mine doesn't. He gets a text. That's the police. They've got all the Ashtag targets together. Let's go. From the conference room to the parking garage, we don't say a word. What's the point? He's already set up a plan based on his theory. He had the police round up the remaining 5 from Bright's list for us to watch over. Round-the-clock protection didn't help the target. but it's all we've got. I recognize 3 of the 5 would be victims. Cecily Lowe is a coder who worked with Bright to allow Raider users to delete their accounts and activity. Robert Alameda is a security admin for Wright. He was helping Doggett inspect the Ashtag code. Not anymore. I half expected Alameda to become a suspect, but with his sexist attitude toward his ex, a curious choice for Bright to target. There's an older man and a young woman I don't recognize. Both look terrified, and then arguing with his assistant Ty Wright himself. They have been told to relinquish all devices. Phones, fitness trackers, anything on their person with a chip, except IDs and credit cards. Anything Ashtag could try to exploit. You can't take my phone. You know I'll need it. Besides, I'm going to be fine. I don't even have a Raider account. Oh wait, this guy's voice is not like that. You can't take my phone. You know I'll need it. Besides, I'm going to be fine. I don't even have a Raider account. Give it to her. Or does it matter? Then stay. Don't argue, hand it over. Wright glares at me. He starts to say something, but then he thinks better of it. Like a pouting child, Ty shoves the phone into his assistant's hand. Wright's comment about not having a Raider account does make me curious. I look to the unfamiliar woman. At least 4 of you aren't Stanford students, miss. Are you one? I am, yeah. I'm supposed to be in his machine learning class, but I guess there isn't one now. She points to the old man, explaining his connection to some extent. I notice Fulton looking in alarm at his phone. You may not have had a Raider account, Mr. Wright, but Campus D says you do now. Your 2 employees, too, and the professor. What? How the hell? Wright snatches his phone from his assistant and speed taps, searching desperately until he sees it. Could someone explain what's going on? The cops insisted I come here with them. They're taking our phones. Is this about the Ashtags? Here's what we know, or we're just being cautious, or that isn't important. The hashtag posts are made by a piece of software. We've not yet been able to stop it. We've all been singled out for future hashtags. The program's creator, Danny Bright, committed suicide. Daniel Bright? My god, he was my best student. In some ways, my worst. His application is tracking us? It may be. We can't say for sure, but we're exercising an abundance of caution. You didn't tell me the part where Bright bled out into some kind of satanic symbol. You didn't tell them the part. It wasn't satanic, and how did you hear about that, Alameda? Was it you? It was me. I was angry. I wanted him to know what was going on in his poorly run company. And where did you get that information? Troubled, Cecily looks down. She doesn't want to say. I told her. I'm sorry. Well, that's great. Who else did you tell? Just... Cecily. How could I not tell her she was a target? My phone buzzes. It's a video call from Doggett. I step away from the others for privacy. What have you got? Our techs tell me there's no real way to stop it. They're saying the code's distributed across hundreds of computers. Likely without the owner's knowledge. It's connected through virtual private networks, so the fragments can't be traced. It's read-only from the laptop. They say there's a back way in, but it prompts for a series of commands. Do they think they can break through? Doesn't look good, but they won't give up trying. Thought you'd want to know before you go into hiding. I also hear they're working on an injunction to shut down Raider, but evidence is sketchy. I won't hold my breath. If that would even stop the code from fulfilling its purpose. I hear you. Worth a shot, though. Good luck to you and Fulton. Stay safe. Thanks for the sit-rep. Or whatever, get it done. You stay safe, too. Same to you, John. Doggett reacts to my statement with a surprised chuckle. He pauses, looking off at others in the server room. I better go. Talk to you soon, Jess. With that, Doggett ends the call. Fulton and I hand over our phones to the police for safekeeping with others' devices. Fulton reasons that while we aren't targets, our devices could be used to listen in and track them too. Sounds far-fetched, but I give in. We all hop into the windowless prisoner transport and depart. No cameras can see inside. The comms are silent. Nothing can track where we are. On the drive, Fulton and I calmly explain what Wright blurted out so everyone is on the same page. The student, Meredith Hall, turned down Danny Bright for a date once. The professor, Dr. Richard Baines, had him as a student. Cecily was also asked out and rejected him. She's ashamed to admit she laughed at him because of his age. I don't have to ask why Wright was targeted or saved for last. Alameda says he doesn't know why Bright's after him from beyond the grave. We arrive at San Francisco Police Department station house. The transport backs up at the rear entrance under a brick archway. All security cams have been shut off and staff cleared. We enter the station. We navigate the halls to a secure evidence room built to survive anything short of a bomb blast. We hand over our guns for safety. They brought in chairs, snacks, and water, but our quarters are fairly tight. I can easily see people going stir-crazy in here. A click buzz sound comes over the intercom, followed by a voice. This is the front desk. The hall's blocked off and cameras are down, so you can get to the toilets okay. Everything good in there? We're fine. Or anyone need anything? If you want something, now's your chance. I could use a cushion for my chair. Back problems. I bet this guy is the mentor who taught him the occult. I mean, who has a goatee? I'm sure we can get that, Doctor. Anyone else? No. Heard that. I'll make sure you get it. There's a key on the table that goes to the lockdown switch. Turn it in the lock by a door, and no one can get in or out. Alright, thank you. I grab the key and pocket it. No need to risk someone else snatching it. It's quiet at first, but with nothing to do, no phones to check, everyone starts to get chatty. Dr. Bain sits alone, quietly stewing. It's hard to think of anything other than the situation we're in, so that's what everyone speculates on. Wright keeps blaming Bright for being a cuck, even chuckling about it. Then Dr. Bain stands fuming and looks at Wright. You and your damn social media. This is your fault. No, I don't think so, Gramps. Social media existed a long-ass time before I came along. Dr. Bain steps closer, confronting Wright directly. The others remain still, watching the argument unfold. Yes, it did, but you decided it wasn't enough of a cesspool. You had to cobble together the worst parts of society together, like a Dr. Frankenstein. Radar is about individual freedom and taking responsibility for yourself. They chose to participate. Amazing. You talk of personal responsibility and you accept none. They're in each other's faces now. There's no telling how far this will go. This escalate. Break it up, or let's calm down. Do nothing. Let's see how this goes. But maybe they just need to get it out of the systems. Then they'll calm down. You pompous turd. You know if Radar was around when you were in college, maybe you wouldn't be so uptight, because you'd have gotten laid. Wright smirks defiantly, just inches from Dr. Baines. The professor pushes right back, cocks his fists. And Fulton grabs Dr. Baines from behind, pulling him back. He has it coming! See? Human nature. That's why Radar is how it is. Man, I can't wait to press charges and sue you. Not another word. As far as I'm concerned, you're both hypocrites right now. Sit down and do not engage with each other. It takes a moment, but they finally do, as Fulton says. Why is this happening to me? I just didn't want to date him. There's nothing to worry about, Melanie. Our people will stop this program, or it'll go run its course, and you'll be free to go. If I may speak, young Mr. Bright took my machine learning class, and he was beyond exceptional. If he wrote code that corrects for past iterations, it will only keep trying harder until it succeeds. It has to be force stopped. There's a sudden buzz from the intercom and the thunks of steel bolts locking into place at the door. We're locked in, everyone but me, and Fulton panics. Everyone relax, we'll find out what's going on. Hello, is everyone alright in there? Yes, or explain yourself, or unlock the room. What do you think you're doing? Me? No, it's not. I'm locked out of the security system. I have to page IT. It knows. How could it know? He made a deal with the devil. He sacrificed himself. There's nowhere to hide. It can't get to us in here, though, can it? Officer, this is Agent Fulton. By any chance, have you been listening in? Hello? I mean, yes, but only to monitor the situation in case something happened. Is the intercom connected to your security system? I don't know. Pretty much everything runs through our computers. That's how it knows. It listened for us. It can't get to us in here, though, can it? Okay, that's a problem. Another one. Ventilation is in defense protocols. It's designed to protect us from gas leaks or bioterrorism. There's no air coming in. Room sealed tight. Damn it. Where is it? don't have to ask what that means. Without fresh air, a timer is begun. It ends when we die from carbon dioxide poisoning. We have to contact Doggett, or ideas, Fulton? Or how long have we got? Do you have any ideas when we'll run out of breath and breathable air? No idea. I'll Google it. The Ashtag targets are understandably anxious, so am I. Dr. Baines starts to shake and pace. Oh God, we're all going to die in here. What have you people done to us? Dr. Baines has grabbed my arm. He's in my face, desperate, frightened, and angry. Don't panic, or let go of me. Push him back. Panicked people don't really listen. Just push him. I plant my palm on Professor's chest and give him a forceful shove. He's weaker than I had anticipated. Oh! And so he stumbles back, slamming headfirst to the wall. It makes a dull thud. Professor's eyes roll back and he starts to slump. I reach for him, easing his descent. He's unconscious. Oops! Holy crap, you KO'd Dr. Baines! He'll be alright. We just have to... all of us remain calm. Okay, breathe slowly and deliberately. The heavier we breathe, the more CO2 we make. We want to limit that. The first thing Fulton and I do is check the ventilation shaft. We figure maybe we can escape or at least get some outside air in. The shaft is just large enough for me to fit in, but the sheet metal is riddled with protruding nails. We have nothing to pound them out with. I'm getting a headache already, as are the others. Not a good sign. The desk officer says they're getting approval to cut through the door with a torch, but that it would take a long time regardless. He also tells us their IT staff can't figure out how to unlock the security system. Even rebooting doesn't work. Finally, he says he found a formula for calculating CO2's toxicity levels. He isn't sure, but he says we most probably have a couple hours at most. When Dr. Baines comes to, Fulton checks him for signs of concussion, but he's fine. Groggy and peeved, but fine. Wright sits alone, head down, consumed by turbulent thoughts. I'd like to say he's reflecting on having created Raider. But it seems more likely that he's cursing the day he ever hired Danny Bright. Across the room, Melanie praised herself. While Cecily and Alameda face each other, holding hands and sharing desperate, loving gazes. It's strange at first, but then I recall Alameda telling Cecily about Bright's work. And the number one boyfriend coffee mug on Alameda's desk. The one he looked at forlorn for calling his ex a bitch. Alameda. Cecily is your ex-girlfriend? The one you mentioned when I interviewed you? I was just telling her if I have to go, I'm glad that I'll be with her. Bright lets out an audible groan of derision. I ignored. Cecily, were you two dating when Bright asked you out? No, we'd just broken up. That's why he asked me out. Berta, why did Bright put you on his list? Alameda sighs. He doesn't want to say. Someone told me he asked you out, and I told him to stay away from you. Not cool, Alameda, or Cecily. Alameda trash-talked you. Or let Cecily respond. Babe, you can't do that. We were broken up. I know. And I was broken up over it. I didn't want that spaz going after you. Miss Lowe turns Bright down. Mr. Alameda threatens him. Bright leaves the project he was working on with Miss Lowe. Don't blame them, and he snapped. Or let Fulton finish. And he starts working on Ashtag because he's had enough being picked on, rejected, pushed around. Are you saying it's our fault? I won't put it that way. It wasn't any one thing that shaped his mindset, but he chose 10 things to focus on. 10 people he felt were exceedingly cruel to him. 10 people he wanted to die for what they've done. They may even be in chronological order. 5 students, then Dr. Baines, then Meredith, then 3 from work, with Mr. Wright last. My head, it hurts really bad. Mine too. Let's try not to talk too much. Keep it calm. Hold on, Wright. How exactly did you end up on Wright's list? What did you do to piss him off? He was jealous of my work, what I accomplished. I've had so many like you in my classes. Danny Bright, Stephen Park, you projected your insecurities onto everyone else. But Bright was one of a kind. He could back up his claims of greatness with flawless, creative algorithms. No accusatory tone from Dr. Baines this time. Everyone's subdued. It's quiet for a long minute then. Bright came to see me a few weeks ago. He was, depressed. Said he was falling into an abyss, whatever that means. Wanted out of his contract. I wouldn't let him go. How did you say it? Or it sounded like a cry for help. Are you selfish jerk? What did you tell him, word for word? I said what parents always did. You were in a mood, suck it up. You're remarkably thick, right? It's a wonder you aren't dead already. Okay, let's not start this again. In spite of his wooziness, Dr. Baines straightens up and sweeps his gaze around the room. What if Wright is last on that list? The Ashtag program should complete once his death is confirmed. If he were to die now, we might all be safely released. The others look to Wright, realizing what Dr. Baines is suggesting. Wright sees it too. Whoa, what the hell? You don't know that it works that way. On the contrary, I know how Danny Bright structured his work. It makes sense to me. You die, we live. Cecily stands up, followed by Alameda. Wright stands and backs away. Would you all please sit down? I reviewed Bright's work. He wasn't as perfect a coder as you think. He often didn't have failsafes to fit in place for certain conditions. I may be last, but you're next. If you die before Ashtag calls you out, I bet the loop breaks. No one knows which alone to believe now. No one dies. Are you killers now? Or let's consider it. Should we play along? We're going to get out of this, and we'll do it without killing anyone, so drop it. Wright sits in a huff. Dr. Baines folds his arms. The other three slowly sit back down in shame. With that, let's cut the chatter. We have to limit our carbon dioxide levels for as long as we can. We don't know how long we... Fulton stops as the intercast hums to life. Everyone, I have news for you from John Doggett. Ashtag has posted 7 names with the hashtag. It's everyone in the room. 7, but we're not on the program's list. Doggett said you were added seconds before the posting. Sorry, I don't have better news. We're still trying to get you out. We have less than an hour left. Before that, irreversible organ damage is possible. Tears starts to fall among those we brought in here to protect. It's hard not to cry myself, but I'm too worn out to... I don't get it though. Could Danny have written an algorithm that good that it can add people to after the fact? I would think so, but then it's hard to imagine one that can do everything his has accomplished to date. Fulton instructs everyone to lie down and control their breathing. That's the last anyone says for a long while. All we hear is a distant fizz of a torch cutting metal. That won't give up, even though there's no way they'll get to us in time. There's no clock, but Dr. Baines has placed his watch on the table for anyone to get up and look at it. I avoid it. What if it's a smart watch? I think about people who have wronged me in my life. I think about my hometown, my family. I could never be this vengeful. Fulton gets up to check the watch and lies down next to me. He quietly asks how I'm feeling. How much time? How close are we? Too close. I wanted to thank you for telling me about your talk with Skinner, but I know you didn't have to. If I were Skinner, I wouldn't simply trust Pierce's guys either. I'd need to know what was happening with my team. Fulton turns his head to me. To face it, he looks serious. There's something I need to say to you, Dexler. Yeah, what's that, Fulton? There's something between your teeth. I want to tell you for hours, but it never felt at the right time. Fulton starts to chuckle, so do I. Our subdued laughter quickly turns to coughing. Well, that probably shaved a couple of minutes off our lifespans. Fulton smiles and goes back to staring at the ceiling. I don't. As much as I don't want to, think about this possibly being the end, and I'm wondering if there's something I might want to say to her. I heard from the magic bullets. Or you're hot, or say nothing. Someone contacted me. He claims to create the magic bullets. Said if I told anyone, he'd know. Fulton turns back to me. He's truly stunned by my confession. He opens his mouth to speak, unsure what to say. When he's interrupted by a loud thunk followed by a rushing hiss. Kss. I turn to the door. It's open. Paramedics rush into the room. I manage to pick myself up off the floor. An oxygen mask is pressed against my face, and I breathe in. It's life itself. The others are being similarly tended to. I have questions, but no one hears me through the mask. For now, it's enough to be alive. A night's rest at the hospital normalizes my breathing. They say that CO2 doesn't seem to have damaged my organs. More tests will be needed. I'm so groggy when I'm released. I find I have a text from Fulton. He's already taken a plane back to DC. I check on the others. Dr. Baines got the worst of it. He may have permanent damage to his lungs. I'm sure my shove didn't help matters. Doggett tells me he's doing paperwork in his hotel room and that I should meet him later at the hotel bar. We find a quiet spot to talk before I even order an iced tea. I'm already asking questions. Can you tell me what the hell happened? How did you stop the program? First things first, how are you feeling? I'm fine, or pretty tired. Who cares? I'm good, clean bill of health and all that. Glad to hear it. You guys didn't have much time left. Doggy gives me a tight, warm smile. He takes a sip of beer. Okay, here we go. What the hell, etc., etc. The text called it a desperate failsafe. A series of 3 codes of Bright's choosing to enter in case he had to stop Ashtag. They keyed in the codes and the program obliterated itself. No trace of it anywhere. No way to know how it really worked. How did they figure out the code? Was it you? Doggett finished his beer with a large swig and signals for another. It was Pierce. He consulted with his chief researcher and came back to us with the exact codes and sequence we needed. Hard to believe. Or who's his researcher? Or just codes, no magic? Chief researcher? Who's that? Couldn't tell you. I've never met the guy. Pierce likes to keep him a mystery. I don't get it. What's going on there? Best I've got. Sometimes Pierce gets exactly what we need to solve a case or stop a tragedy. Don't know how he does it. Wish I did. That's good enough for you? Or you're so cute right now? Or what are you hiding? Uh-oh. Are we gonna hit on John Doggett? We've been doing it so far. Let's do it! I love the way you look when you're perplexed. He flashes a startled smirk and faintest signs of self-conscious blush. Is that right? See? Now you're even cuter. Uh-huh. Doggett gets a second beer and we shift topics. I tell him about my first official case, which it turns out he's already read up on. We share our tales of our times in the military. His are way more intense, though he never had to fight a mucus man. He tells me about being a cop and how the death of his son and his subsequent divorce led him to joining the FBI. Doggett's lived a lot of lives in his time. He carries it all, not with nostalgia or regret, but with certitude. Well, I think it's time to head back up and get ready to get out of here tomorrow. Doggett stands. I can tell he won't be talked into staying to chat a while longer. I stand as well. Thanks and good night, or give me a hug, or take me to bed. Hey, come here. I put my arms around his mouth. He wraps his arms around me. I give him a squeeze of thanks. Glad we got you out of here. Stay safe, alright? We part, and he puts his hand on my shoulders, beaming with pride. You turned out just fine, Dexter. I'd partner with you anytime. Hint, hint. John Doggett smiles warmly before he turns and heads for the elevators. As soon as he's gone, he starts to hit me how exhausted I still am. I order some chicken fingers to go. And my phone alarm wakes me the next morning. The mini fridge chicken becomes my breakfast as I rush to pack for my flight. The next couple days involve a lot of sleeping. Caitlin drops by every evening to make sure I've eaten. After the weekend's ended and I've had all the rest I can stomach, I head to work. Fulton's already there when I arrive. He's on his computer and deep into what I assume is paperwork, so I don't disturb him. Once I'm settled in, Fulton rolls away from his desk and clears his throat. I slept way more than I expected to. You? Same, pretty much. Sorry I ducked out on you. I wanted to get my ass back here and have a talk with Pierce as soon as possible. What did he have to say? He claims that he and his chief researcher went over photos of Danny Bright's apartment to figure out the failsafe sequence. Tell me about a researcher, or he's lying, or that's amazing. Incredible. I could never in a million years. How could anyone, even 2 people? I won't complain because we're not dead, but something's not right. I don't know how much Pierce is hiding, or what his plans are. There's something else. Abcalum, a word or name Bright used in his code. When I mentioned it to Pierce, he was alarmed. Pierce recovered, saying he thought it was a strange word, no internet for hits for it. I know it's something. I need you to tell me about the magic bullets contact too. I'll fill you in, sure. More and more I'm getting the sense that we're surrounded by wolves. We need to have each other's backs. Agreed. I'm with you, Fulton. We get into all of it. My being asked to report on Pierce or Skinner, a bizarre call from Hey Guys, what it all means, who can we trust? It's a long conversation and a short list. And that is that. Very suspicious stuff happening with Pierce and his secret coder. Makes you wonder if Pierce is orchestrating Fulton's first run in the organization in order to kind of give his career stars and stripes. You know what I mean? Very interesting take on this. Good end to a mini set of episodes. The Ashtags is pretty good series so far. And yeah, as you guys know, X-Files is out. I've already said this at the beginning, but it's out. I encourage everyone to go read it, play it, and read it themselves. Yeah, I don't know how to, if you guys can skip chapters. I'm pretty sure you can, but then you wouldn't get all the choices I made. Obviously, you would be starting from some other default. I don't think you can skip stories, to be honest, but you could, maybe. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. But yeah, give Storyscape a try. It's a good game. And yeah, this might be the last episode. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with it. I've seen the views on this kind of dying down, and so maybe the interest is waning. But more important than that is for you guys to go and play it yourself, because it's a great series. And I guess maybe I'll see you for a different kind of video in the future. And so like, share, subscribe. Watch out. I'm going to be developing some anime projects in the future, and so it's going to be some animation on this channel. And other than that, can't think of anything else that's going to happen, but just definitely subscribe, stick around, because I do plan to make good content coming out.